Good morning and welcome to Treetops Raceway Park, home of the crossover. With our sponsor, Merch by Meekin, we're presenting 70 years of the Corvette in honor of the 70th anniversary of the Chevrolet Corvette. Originally released in 1953 with a current mid-engine model in 2023. We still have several of the models in contention. And today we will have the last first round groups. Merch by Meekin is a sponsor. Please contact them for your metal signs, balsa wood buildings, glassware, shirts. All these can be done with your emblems. Here we are looking at today's groups. This is group 7. Getting ready to start their engines, and group 8 is finishing up in the tech area. Here is the current track records with Biff holding a 9.142. You've got to knock Numbskull off with his 9.593 to make it onto the board. And now here's Heat 7 introductions. Ben Taxel from Rabbit Badger Racing from the US will be driving a Hot Wheels 1997 Corvette at 56.6 grams. Kitch from Kitchen Sink Racing from the US will be driving his Hot Wheels 1973 Greenwood Corvette at 45.9 grams. Flip from Flips Racing, also hailing from the US, will be driving his Hot Wheels 1978 Corvette Stingray at 59.5 grams. And then Lily the Dog from Lily's Boneyard from the US will be driving her Matchbox 2008 Corvette ZR1 at 60.0 grams. Here we go for Heat 7, Race 1. We have Ben Taxel and Kitch in the front row, Lily the Dog and Flip in the back row. They're off. It looks like Ben Taxel has got a decent lead. He does come out with a hole shot. Kitch gets by Lily the Dog and Flip gets by both of them. Ben Taxel will be taking them down into the second to the last straight there. Here comes Flip trying to catch him with Kitch and Lily the Dog. You got Ben Taxel, he gets up on the rail. Flip's catching him. Flip gets into him, pushes him off underneath the downslope of the rally track. And Kitch and Lily the Dog get into it, and it looks like Kitch will finish, but it does not look like Lily the Dog will get across the line. Here you can see that Kitch just hits the checkered. Lily the Dog does not. And you see Ben Taxel up underneath the track there, stuck. So we have a double DNF. Lily the Dog and Ben Taxel do not finish that lap. Right here you see Kitch gets on the inside of Lily, who gets up on her two wheels. Flip got by both of them, and then Flip sets his sights on Ben Taxel. But there's a nice lead going into the second to the last turn here, third to the last turn here. But Flip is pouring on the speed. And right there you see Ben Taxel gets up on the curbing, slows him down, and Flip starts to catch. Pops him right there in the rear and pushes him off the track underneath the rally start track. And right there you see Kitch trying to pinch off Lily the Dog to keep from losing that spot. And it works, but Lily the Dog comes up short. We'll see if we can't get Ben Taxel out from underneath there. And getting back to the pit area, 11.818 was the finish time for Flip. Flip leads off with a 5-point win, followed by Kitch with 3, and zeros for Lily and Ben Taxel. Here we have Ben Taxel and Lily the dog on the front row, Kitch and Flip on the back row. They're off. And it's like Lily's gonna lead them into the straightaway there, being pushed by Flip. They're just staying single file, not much contact by anybody. As they go into the final turn, here comes Kitch. Lily the dog's got it. And she will come across the line first, followed by Flip. And here comes Ben Taxel. And there comes across Kitch for fourth place. Right here you see Flip is really pushing and helping Lily get some extra speed going into that open track. And you see Ben Taxel actually had a run on Flip trying to get on the inside, but Flip cut him off. After that, it was pretty eventless as they all went down single file. I might have to speed some of these replays up. $10.717 for Lily the dog. So with Lily's win, she gets 5 points, but Flip still has the lead with 8. And then Kitch with 4, and Ben Taxel with 2. Heat 7, race 3. This will put Flip and Lily the dog on the front row with Kitch and Ben Taxel on the back row. They're off. It's like Flip is going to take the inside line and pull the whole shot, followed by Lily the dog and then Ben Taxel. Lily gets spun around and Ben Taxel gets by her. Flip is going to lead them down into the final curve. See, Flip comes in, gets a little sideways. Nice run through the turn. He will take the win. Here comes Ben Taxel. And then Lily the dog. Ben Taxel gets second, Lily the dog gets third, and here does come Kitch. And Kitch will finish for fourth. Right here you see Lily gets completely sideways and flips around on her own, which allows Ben Taxel to get by her on the inside. And that was pretty much the only event of this race. A 10.269 for Flip. So Flip moves ahead with 13, then Lily the dog with 8, Kitch with 5, and Ben Taxel with 4. Heat 7, race 4. We have Kitch and Flip on the front row, Ben Taxel and Lily the dog in the back row. They're off. And Flip is going to get a big run going into that open track. He takes the whole shot. Ben Taxel and Lily the dog get into it behind him. And Lily gets slowed down. Flip is taking off and leaving the group. Here comes the rest of the cars. There was Ben Taxel. Here comes Lily the dog. There you go, Flip bouncing off the walls as he gets the win. Here comes Kitch. And Bentaxel Kitch gets up on the wall. Bentaxel hits him. And they stop short of the finish line. But here comes Lily the dog. And Lily the dog plows into Kitch, flipping him over, pushing him across the line for second, and Lily the dog for third. Bentaxel will get a DNF. Right here you see Bentaxel pinches off Lily the dog. And then in the finish, you see Kitch coming around, and you see Bentaxel tries to get on the inside as Kitch gets up on the wall. Bentaxel pushes him off of the wall, but they stop shy of the finish line. And then here comes Lily the dog. And she hits Kitch, getting him over completely, but over the finish line as well. And this is the fourth race, so he has plenty of time to get that car ready if he moves on. We'll try to get these cars cleaned up so we can get the next heat going, but we'll also go into looking at the scores. A 9.806 for Flip. Not fast enough to get on the leaderboard, but with that win, Flip gets 18 points for the group. Lily stays in second with 10. Kitch has 7. And Bentaxel with 4. So Flip and Lily the dog will move on to the quarterfinals next week. Here is the Heat 8 introductions with Jason Miles from Milestone Racing from the US, driving his Hot Wheels 2020 Corvette at 59.6 grams. That Boy from Cash Money Boys from the US, driving the Hot Wheels 1978 Corvette Stingray at 58.2 grams. Gray Wizard from Golden Owl Racing from the US, driving his Hot Wheels 1987 Corvette at 59.2 grams. And Static from Road Rage Racing from the US, Hot Wheels 2005 Corvette at 56.9 grams. And now for Heat 8, Race 1. You have That Boy and Jason Miles in the front row, Gray Wizard and Static in the back row, and it looks like That Boy will get on the inside of Miles, but Miles had the whole shot and maintained it. Jason Miles is coming down with That Boy in tow, followed by Static and then Gray Wizard. He will lead them into the final turn. Jason Miles comes out and takes the win. That Boy for second, Static for third, and here comes Gray Wizard for fourth. If you watch this, Jason Miles has the lead, but That Boy gets up on the inside of him, and he turns down and gets That Boy up on the wall a little bit, kicks it sideways but maintains it. Static gives a bump to That Boy, gives him a boost of speed, and he tries to get her on the outside, but Jason Miles had that covered. And now they just go down with a tight single file line. Looks like That Boy is pushing Jason right there, trying to get him sideways. Then they'll go down into that final turn and stay single file the whole way home. So Jason Miles turns a 10.876. So 5, 3, 2, 1. Jason Miles, That Boy, Static, and Gray Wizard. And now for Heat 8, Race 2. We have Jason Miles and Static on the front row, That Boy and Gray Wizard in the back row. They're off. Jason Miles is getting a great hole shot. He pulls that one again, followed again by That Boy. Then Static, then Gray Wizard's trying to get by Static on the inside, but Static cuts him off. Oh, we lost That Boy. That Boy flipped Here comes Jason Miles into the final turn. He gets sideways but corrects it and comes in first. Static is coming around. Static will get second. And here comes Gray Wizard for third. And somehow that boy ended up on his roof. Right here you see that boy gets by Static and pinches him off right away. And you see Static get high trying to go around but just doesn't have the speed. Then you see Gray Wizard get in the back of Static, pushing him sideways, and he comes down and almost pushes Gray Wizard off the track. And somehow right there where we lost that boy's view, he gets over on his roof, gets hit by Static to get him off the track the rest of the way, and then him and Gray Wizard will come down and finish the race. See if we can't get that boy's car flipped over. A 10.405 for Jason Miles. So with that win, he takes a commanding lead with 10 points. Static has 5, that boy 3, and Gray Wizard with 3. Now let's move on to Heat 8, Race 3. We'll have Static and Gray Wizard in the front row, Jason Miles and that boy in the back row, and they're off. So Gray Wizard has got the whole shot, but Static will get on the inside along with Jason Miles. And Jason gets kicked around sideways by Gray Wizard. But Jason does pull the pass, but Static will take off and leave the group while they're banging around. Here comes Jason Miles, then Gray Wizard. Right here you see Static leading him into the final turn. Gets sideways and slows down. Here comes Jason Miles. Jason Miles gets by him on the outside. Here comes Gray Wizard. Gray Wizard gets by him on the outside. Gray Wizard will take second. Static will take third. And somehow that boy got completely sideways up coming out of the lane automotive turn and gets stuck. Right here you see Gray Wizard has the lead. He has the whole shot coming onto the open track, and Static gets right by on the inside and takes Jason Miles with him. Jason Miles tries to cut up too soon, and Gray Wizard gets into him. But right there you see that boy gets sideways coming out of the turn and gets stuck. Static has left everybody. And that's how Static gets sideways right there and loses all his momentum, and allows Jason Miles to get by for the win, and then Gray Wizard by for second. Static's got to be kicking himself. 11.1 for Jason Miles. So with that, Jason Miles has 15 points. He will be moving on. Second place is Static with 7, then Gray Wizard with 6, and that boy with 3. Second place is still up in the air. So Heat 8, Race 4. We have Gray Wizard and that boy in the front row, Static and Jason Miles in the back row, and they're off. Looks like that boy is going to take the whole shot, followed by Jason Miles, then Gray Wizard. Jason Miles is just riding around, enjoying himself. Static is in the back. Whoa, Static hits the pole. That boy will get the win, followed by Jason Miles. And you see Static hits the pole, Gray Wizard gets third. And it doesn't look like he hit anybody. You see Jason Miles gets on the other side of that boy there, and that boy covers it. Gray Wizard's trying to get a run. Right there you see, whoa. Static just loses control and gets off the track and hits the base of the big tree. So that boy gets a win. As you see, Static falling off onto the ticket booth. Luckily, we made that ticket booth strong. And Gray Wizard comes in for third. Get the paramedics to get Static over to the infield care center. A 9.850 for that boy. So that boy gets 5, which ties him with the Gray Wizard, who got 2 to tie it up for 8. So Jason Miles moves on. That boy and Gray Wizard are tied for second. So now we will have a race off between those two. That boy will get the inside lane due to him having a heat win. So we have that boy and Gray Wizard. The first one to win 2 races will move on. They're off. Gray Wizard got a slight lead. Here comes that boy. And that boy will pull the whole shot. He is taken off and gapping Gray Wizard. That boy gets sideways, which will allow Gray Wizard to catch up. Here comes Gray Wizard. Gray Wizard gets up and hits him in the back. But all it does is give him a little momentum. Gray Wizard's trying for another run here. Oh, he gets up on the wall. That boy will take the first win. Right here you see that boy gives it the gas on the high line and gets around Gray Wizard on the outside. And never looks back. He does get a little sideways right up here, which scruffs off his speed, which allows Gray Wizard to catch up. Gets a little sideways there again as well. And Gray Wizard just gets up and bumps him. Doesn't get around him at all. And then you see them go into the final turn. 1, 2, and right there you see Gray Wizard gets up on the wall, losing any chance of getting by. So that's 1 win for that boy. Gray Wizard's got to win this to have a shot at race 3. So here's a tie-break race 2. Gray Wizard gets the inside with that boy on the outside. They're off. It looks like that boy has got a lead. He will take that lead and pull the whole shot into the open track. Gray Wizard has to catch him. Gray Wizard just lost it a little bit. That boy gapped a little bit more. And that boy will lead into the final turn. And is not looking back. That boy will take the win. So lap 2 goes to that boy, which means that boy will move on with Jason Miles to the quarterfinals. Need to congratulate Flip, Lily the dog, Jason Miles, and that boy on moving on to the quarterfinals. Please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss another exciting race. And as always, thanks for watching.